Is it going?
Yep, we're going.
And we're going here. So 3, 2, 1.
Stop. Stop. Hey everyone, so it's the end of a day, Sunday, beginning of a new week, and we thought we would update you on how things are going with the House Bill 2563, and just to give you a background of how it has come about. Originally it started with just posting to social media about Emmett and that he has Krabbe disease and what it is and what it means for him and what it means for us as a family. Different connections were made so that we could get in touch with different representatives. And I was able to have a sit-down coffee meeting with Representative Susan McLean. Basically, I just went into it with the thought process of how do I make a change, not just for Emmett and for his legacy, but for the future of Oregon and the future of families, to give these newborns the best chance that they can have. Because if I don't speak up, then who will? Then who will? Then who will? Then who will? So he was born healthy. He was progressing normally up until about 9 months, at which point his pediatrician noticed that he had some low muscle tone, and they decided to keep a close eye on him. At 12 months old, he wasn't meeting some of his gross motor skills, meaning he wasn't pushing up into a sitting position, he wasn't crawling or even attempting to crawl. So at that point, we were referred to one of the bigger pediatric hospitals in our area. That was in March that they referred us, and then we didn't get in to be seen by a specialist until June. And with this disease, time is of the essence. Every single moment that passes by is critical, because if you catch it early enough, there is a treatment option that's available. And with the form that Emmett has of Krabbe, late infantile onset, if he had been treated, if he'd been caught and treated, preferably at birth, he could be completely normal today. From there, we also teamed up with Representative Janine Solomon and Sherry Scouten, and they helped to create a bill, and that was House Bill 2563. The original wording of the bill was ideally to basically shoot for the stars. There is a federal committee, or advisory panel, if you will, called the Recommended Uniform Screening Panel. And different researchers, scientists, doctors, people who come up with these newborn screenings to test babies for these diseases, they have to apply and go through a very arduous application process just to get their disease added to the list of diseases that are recommended from the federal government. And so I figured, being the nurse in me figured, let's help as many families as we can. Let's get Oregon up to the Recommended Uniform Screening Panel standards. And so that's how we had originally written the bill. We used Tennessee as a model because Tennessee actually tests for more than what is recommended by the federal government, which kudos to you, Tennessee, that's awesome. So that was how the bill was originally worded. And through a series of different phone calls and meetings, we discovered that the state lab was not on board with the wording of the bill. They didn't want to do all of the diseases. They didn't want to make it a statute, which means that it's like kind of a fixed law versus a regulatory law that is more fluid. So because we kind of met up against some resistance, the bill was then, I've learned so much about this legislative process and the different terminology, but basically with that bill, they gut and stuffed it. So they gutted it, took out all the wording and stuffed it with the wording that is now being signed into law, which is to create a committee. And I don't know if you kind of catch on to this, but there's a little bit of redundancy in House Bill 2563. Since there's already a federal committee that recommends diseases, and they already have to go through, like I said, a very arduous process just to be added to the list. Unfortunately, House Bill 2563 will now just repeat that process and does not actually implement any screenings or any additions. So that was a little bit unfortunate, but it is a step in the right direction. There hasn't been any progress made, so for that I'm really thankful that we're making some kind of progress forward. And Representative McLean, Salem, and Scouten are committed to making sure that Krabbe is added within the year or so. It went through the House Health Committee initially, at which point they asked us to come and share our testimony. And that was a very interesting day. I've never done anything like that before, and it was very nerve-wracking to go and sit down in front of a panel of people and knowing that they're our House representatives and they've been elected to represent the people. We being myself and my husband, Emmett was there, of course, and then as well as the other Oregon family. Tammy Wilson brought her 8-year-old son, Michael, who was treated. And the coolest part about that video, if you go back and watch it, is that it almost seems like we planned it with our testimonies. I started, and then Joe went, and then Tammy went, and that's just how it kind of happened to be and how it happened to flow. And it worked out really well because I laid down kind of like a foundation of what Krabbe is and why it's important to screen for it and what the ramifications are if we don't. And then Joe added some heart and emotion and just the reality of living with Krabbe and what that means for our family. And then Tammy came in with the awesome evidence of what can happen and what can be if it's caught early enough, as well as just kind of a slight reprimand of not having done anything with this information before, because she had advocated for it in 2012 up until 2015, and Emmett was born in 2016. So she did reprimand them a little bit, which I was actually very thankful for, because it's just truth. If they had listened to her back then, Emmett could have been caught and he could be well and running around, talking, eating, smiling, laughing, everything that he used to be able to do, he could be doing that right now if they had listened. So from there, it passed unanimously out of the House Health Committee.
Okay, I'm now opening a work session on House Bill 2563, newborn screening. Oliver, can you please provide the committee with a brief summary?
Yes, Madam Chair. House Bill 2563 brought to you by Representative McLean, Salem, and Scouten, received public hearing. There's a -3. It's on old list for consideration, which replaces the measure and essentially establishes a 13-member.
Representative Alonso Lamb.
Yes.
Representative Mason.
Aye.
Representative Greenlick.
Aye.
Representative Kenny Geyer.
Aye.
Representative Mitchell.
Yes.
Representative Noble.
Aye.
Representative Prusak.
Aye.
Vice Chair Hayden.
Aye.
Vice Chair Noakes.
Yes.
Chair Salinas.
Yes. The motion passes. And Representative McLean, will you like to be a carrier? Thank you.
And then it went to the House floor, and there it also passed unanimously. So once it passed out of the House, then it went to the Senate Health Committee, and we almost didn't get a hearing. But Representative McLean was a very good advocate for us. So on Friday, we weren't even sure we were going to have a hearing, and then on Monday, I was told they're gonna read and listen to public testimony on Wednesday. So if you can come, that'd be great. And so I cleared my calendar, moved all these doctor's appointments around, because I was like, we have to be there. We have to explain our story, and they need to see Emmett, and they need to see what could have been for him. And so we made that happen. And then it also passed out of the Senate Health Committee unanimously and was carried over to the Senate floor, which at that point it also, again, passed unanimously. And now it's at the governor's office, and my understanding is that she signed it into law already. However, we did request a ceremonial signing, so hopefully we'll get some news coverage of that, and you guys can see Governor Kate Brown signing into law House Bill 2563, and that will be awesome. Our commitment to Emmett and to Oregon and to really the nation is to continue to raise awareness, to continue to advocate, and to continue to push for our legislators to listen, because we don't ever want to see another family go through what we've been through with Emmett, and we don't think that that's fair to that future family and to that future newborn to not have a chance at life. So thank you guys for your support and your prayers. It's so appreciated. We love you all, and we hope to hear from you soon. Thanks so much.